Hollywood once glittered with lights, red carpets, and stars celebrated as flawless icons. But Paul Newman once bluntly exposed a truth that stunned the entire industry. Behind the smiles and golden Oscars, many carried darkness far more terrifying than any villain they ever played on screen. He spoke of starlet mothers who tormented their children, powerful actors who lured underage girls into locked rooms, and giants who threw punches that left colleagues collapsing right on set. These weren't roles from a script. These were crimes that Hollywood concealed for decades. And the final name, Newman revealed, is sure to send a chill down your spine. Errol Flynn, the dark side of Robin Hood. In the late 1930s, millions adored Errol Flynn, the dashing hero of the adventures of Robin Hood. Photoplay magazine crowned him the man every woman longed for and every man wanted to be. But behind the radiant smile and adventurous charm were whispers stretching from Beverly Hills to the Sunset Strip. In 1942, Flynn faced trial in Los Angeles for charges involving two underage girls. The Los Angeles Examiner splashed the scandal across front pages, branding him Robin Hood in the dock. The trial drew packed crowds of journalists, fans, and even international reporters. In the end, Flynn was acquitted. As he strode out of court lighting a cigarette, he smirked, "The ladies will still love this Robin Hood." Paul Newman later remarked, "I had never seen arrogance so naked." Though acquitted, Flynn's reputation never escaped the shadow. Journalists described his Hollywood Hills mansion as a place of endless parties filled with faces far too young to understand the danger. Rumors clung to him until his early death at 50. Joan Crawford, the tyrant mother Paul Newman once warned, "Never believe that an Oscar can hide the darkness within a family." Joan Crawford was the perfect example. On stage, she was Hollywood royalty. At home, she was a tyrant. After her 1946 Oscar win for Mildred Pierce, Crawford returned home to a nightmare scene. A maid later testified that she dragged her 11-year-old daughter Christina from bed and forced her to sing the national anthem. When the child faltered, Crawford slapped her so hard she hit the marble floor. Christina's memoir, Mommy Dearest, later revealed years of torment, beatings with clothes hangers, forced punishments with hourglasses and crucifixes, and long sleeves in the heat of summer to hide bruises. Even after Crawford's death in 1977, her cruelty continued. Her will cut Christina and Christopher out completely, leaving them with nothing. Newman summed it up. "The most terrifying thing is that she still found ways to punish her children, even in death." Bing Crosby, the dark voice of Christmas America, once hailed Bing Crosby as the king of Christmas, the man whose voice turned White Christmas into the best-selling song of all time. But Newman bitterly said, "To me, he was nothing more than a jailer dressed as an angel." Gary Crosby, his eldest son, revealed in his memoir that every night felt like waiting for the sound of the belt. His brothers Dennis and Lindsay couldn't escape the trauma either, both taking their own lives decades later. Friends recalled that Christmas music alone was enough to send them into panic attacks. Hollywood stayed silent. Crosby was too profitable to expose. Newman snapped during one panel. He beat his kids because he enjoyed the power. Marlene Dietrich, the goddess manipulator. Marlene Dietrich walked into Hollywood like a goddess. She was beautiful, magnetic, and dangerous. Her affairs, with both men and women, left a trail of devastation. Jean Gabin, Edith Piaf, Mercedes D'Acosta, Greta Garbo, all left broken after Dietrich moved on. Her own daughter described childhood as a parade of lovers and manipulation. Newman, one of the few who resisted her orbit, summed her up perfectly. Marlene treated human emotion like playing cards, and she played the game better than anyone. But behind her, all you saw were losers. Mickey Rooney, the Golden Boy's shadow. To America, Mickey Rooney was the innocent face of MGM, the symbol of youthful charm. But Newman revealed a much darker side. Elizabeth Taylor, only 14 when Rooney pursued her, admitted years later that he terrified her. Diaries from that period described sleepless nights, and the feeling of being trapped in MGM's gilded cage. Friends recalled her wearing thick sweaters in the heat of summer, trying to hide from his stare. Hollywood protected Rooney at all costs. His image was too valuable. Taylor carried the scars for life. Newman later said, "Hollywood has smiles that hide darkness, and sometimes that darkness is more terrifying than villains on screen." Kirk Douglas, the Predator, behind Spartacus. Kirk Douglas was the very symbol of American masculinity. Spartacus, the indomitable warrior. But Newman knew a darker truth. Stories swirled for decades, most buried by studio power. The most haunting involved Natalie Wood. According to her sister Lana's memoir, Natalie returned home from a meeting with Douglas at 15, shaken and disheveled. Her mother told her to stay silent if she wanted to keep working. Decades later, after Wood's mysterious drowning, questions resurfaced. But no answers came. Newman's chilling verdict: Spartacus may have been a hero, but Kirk Douglas was never a hero. Wallace Beery, the brutal giant. Wallace Beery, Oscar winner and box office star, was Hollywood's lovable tough guy. But behind closed doors, he was infamous for bar brawls, child abuse on set, and connections to the mysterious death of Ted Healy, founder of the Three Stooges. Witnesses described Beery's fists as weapons, and child actors recalled being tossed like props. MGM paid hush money, and the LAPD quickly buried cases. Newman admitted bitterly, "On screen, Beery played the tender father. Off screen, he spread terror with his fists." Bette Davis. Terror on set. Bette Davis dazzled on screen, her razor-sharp voice earning her a reputation as Hollywood's queen of drama. But for those who worked with her, she was more tyrant than legend. She berated co-stars, humiliated crew, and once shoved Joan Crawford with such force on the set of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane that Crawford was hospitalized. Davis coldly remarked, "If she got hurt, that's her problem." Newman observed, "No one denies Bette's talent, but I've never seen a woman spread so much fear on a film set." Closing, Paul Newman's revelations paint Hollywood not as a dream factory, but as a stage where devils wore stars' clothing. Behind the glitter were children bruised, young girls hunted, and victims silenced forever. But Newman himself may not have been innocent. Was he truly a whistleblower? Or was he also hiding sins beneath the surface? That's a question history may never answer, and now I'll leave it with you. Do these legends still deserve their praise? Or should we finally strip away the illusions? If you want more untold stories from old Hollywood, the scandals, the buried crimes, the truths they never wanted you to hear, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because the next name exposed might just be the very idol you still admire.